And we're live. Welcome to another episode of At the Gigs. I'm one of your hosts, Jared.
And I'm the other one of your hosts, Kieran, and this is episode 7.
Episode 7.
Lucky number 7.
7 weeks of this podcast.
One more episodes than we have had listeners on our last episode.
Yeah, folks, for all the people that checked it out. I wonder who did check it out then.
I have no idea, but we it's been more encouraging than the two. We're obviously spreading word. Those two people have been talking to their friends.
I have a feeling that I think YouTube is more credible than SoundCloud. It took me a while to want to use SoundCloud, so maybe other people are like that.
Yeah, because YouTube is the thing you just find yourself on.
Yeah, you're just like, okay.
Yeah, you just don't know why you're on it. You just find yourself on there, and it's easy to disappear down the rabbit hole. And 36 people did that.
They did. I find it weird though that people always listen to audio on YouTube when it's supposed to be a video.
A visual medium.
Have you ever seen the visual medium? Yeah, have you ever seen the Bill Burr stuff where it's just the
thumbnail
of him?
Picture of him.
Yeah, just ranting for 11 minutes.
That's
it. They put superimpose his face on I don't know, Bill Clinton or something. It's just what the fuck is this?
I can understand going to YouTube for your podcast if it's behind a paywall or whatever. But for the free podcasts that are elsewhere, we're a YouTube exclusive podcast for the record.
Yeah.
Because of the deal we signed. But if it's behind a paywall elsewhere, I can understand watching them on YouTube. But for podcasts that are elsewhere and you can just listen to them, I don't understand why you'd watch a clip.
Yeah, but I mean it works for us. We couldn't afford to.
Yeah,
we subscribe to SoundCloud's premium package.
Ridiculous censorship package.
Yeah, so, God, we should probably set up a Patreon.
We should.
Yeah.
I mean, let's do it.
But in business news, we did make business cards.
We did. Coming your way.
Coming your way very soon to a gig near you.
Everybody who likes and shares our post will get a signed business card. Well, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Comment on the video.
You can't stop it. We're doing it.
Send it to your neighbor. Your neighbor might be missing entertainment this evening.
Yeah, they might, instead of having a connection with you being their neighbor, maybe they
put this as the surrogate you. Yes. You don't want to have to say hello to your old neighbor.
See, no one likes that.
Yeah, just we're saving you guys. We talk so you don't have to. We talk, you listen. Sit the fuck down.
So
this is the most meandering opening we've ever had for an episode. Let's talk about what we got on the agenda today.
The agenda, so today's episode is going to be at the home gigs.
At the gigs at home.
That makes sense.
So I mean, we've taken quite the financial pummeling over these past few weeks.
Huge pummeling.
So we decided. Much like our listeners, we all don't have change all the time in order to buy these expensive gig tickets.
Podcast all the time.
So we thought that we could treat our listeners to some recommendations of concert films so they can enjoy them from the peace of their own home. Stay in, make food.
Not go to a gig.
Hug a loved one. Hug your neighbor, that's for sure.
Oh, damn straight.
And and just enjoy some of our concert movie recommendation picks and concert documentary recommendation picks.
Yeah, we've got a ton to get through.
Yeah, so many.
If we can think of stuff.
Yes, if we can think of a ton, we'll have a ton to get through. So.
Well, would you like to go first? What grabbed your attention?
Let's go with Metallica, Some Kind of Monster.
Okay, cool, yeah.
Okay, cool. I think this is the interesting thing about this movie. I was kind of I'm kind of I could take or leave Metallica.
Mm-hmm.
I like them fine. I'd never actively seek them out. I enjoy hearing them though. But this movie is one of the best movies about creativity I've ever seen. Creative struggle, and I didn't expect it to be that. I kind of had a kind of corporate. The Napster stuff.
Oh,
you kind of have that image of Metallica, money, hand over fist. But it was nice to see them struggle, genuinely trying to create something beautiful. Well, for those listening, it's
No, sorry, were you explaining it?
It's the making of the Saint Anger album. And it just follows them as they go through group therapy, I guess.
Yeah, well, Jason Newsted, their longtime bass player, he left the group before the album was recorded, and that triggered a whole this kind of the group was close to dissolving. People take it for granted. Oh yeah, Metallica, but they were close to just stopping.
Yeah, completely. And the kind of conflict between Lars and James Hetfield.
Yeah, it's two guys who built this massive thing together, but they weren't really friends.
Shouting matches.
Yeah, just struggling to really know each other.
Yeah, it's interesting seeing the kind of emotional side of Hetfield come out.
Yeah.
They really. What's the word? The guard is down on Metallica.
Yeah, definitely.
They're not the balls out rock stars.
Yeah, it's very emotional.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always feel think Metallica fans can be a bit narrow-minded.
Yeah.
Like when Metallica in the 90s changed their sound from the 80s, like the fans are going crazy, like, oh, what? But like, I think that's what's interesting with band when they change. And it was the same with the documentary, like, oh, you see James Hetfield have a tantrum, oh, what a bitch.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's insightful, like,
yeah,
grow up, like just,
who the fuck is like a rock star all their life,
yeah,
like 24/7, like this is like a moment.
People.
Yeah, we see them vulnerable.
Yeah, you see the humanity.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was a crazy double whammy, like Jason Newsted leaving and James Hetfield goes to therapy, rehab.
Yeah,
like that's a crazy.
Yeah, like it's a lot of bands probably
connection.
wouldn't survive that.
No,
I'd say, but yeah, I guess it speaks to the.
I'm hearing like phone static.
Oh shit! Oh, hope it's not me. Hang on, I'm gonna get rid of my phone. Might have been me.
That's okay.
Apologies.
We don't edit.
Yeah.
Well, we might eventually, but right.
Yeah, right now, I mean, if you guys start to give a shit, maybe we'll give a shit. So
am I right?
Yeah, sorry. So what else about this film did you want to get?
Well, for me, it was a gateway into Metallica because, well, like probably when I was like 16 and YouTube was new, I'd heard about Metallica and I had ideas of them, but I was kind of scared of them almost.
Yeah.
And then I was obsessed with, I started bass at the time, so I was just looking at bass, playing your videos all the time.
Trujillo.
Yeah, just trying to find out more about bass. And then there was Metallica bass auditions, and I didn't know it was from an actual movie, but yeah, they had the auditions in that movie for their new bass player.
Yeah.
And I think when Metallica being so guitar heavy, I hadn't really thought there was a place for bass, so it was nice to see something completely focused on it.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah, so that got me into them, and then I saw the dynamics and how they talked and all this. I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting, and then I just got into the band.
What's the origin of? I mean, the origin. What's the beginning of like bass playing being kind of like neglected in rock and roll kind of mythology? I guess because I remember even playing Guitar Hero. You know, it's like. The whole band travels in the car, but the bass player travels separately and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like why has that always been pussified? I
know, because like in the early days, you've Paul McCartney, John Entwistle, like I don't know, Sting. I guess people are just like a lot of people you meet, they're kind of just ignorant. Will just be like, oh, it's the easy one.
Yeah.
So I guess it just suffers that instant thing.
Press much harder though.
Yeah, so much harder. Yeah. And I think some people are shy and. It does seem to attract people that are kind of easily, like, I don't know, subdued or something. But there's something about the guitar, the Mick and Keith thing that, I don't know, it seems to eclipse the bass
guitar
player.
lead singer, like the kind of, they're the ones that all the girls want to fuck with.
Yeah, basically.
Perception.
But like it's a gross generalization. Like as I was saying, Paul McCartney so prominent, Sting's like the biggest part of the Police, and that's it. But like. Yeah, it's funny. I think it's just kind of, you're not... And then I also think in the mix as well, some bands, like actually Metallica were notorious for that, to turn the bass so low it was inaudible.
Yes, yeah.
On Justice for All.
I often find it difficult to detect bass in songs.
Yeah.
You know, like you really got to listen out for something.
Yeah, and I think even in my day-to-day, like in college, like you talk to engineers and stuff, but it seems for bass it's just to kind of get a solid foundation, and they don't care about any color or anything. It's like, okay, we'll do reverb on the guitars, or we'll pan the guitar this way or that way, but for the bass to sort of like, let's just keep it clean,
like a true line kind of.
Yeah, so I think there's that side of it where people don't want to push it too far, and
that makes sense.
Yeah, but oh god, Geddy Lee, he's an amazing.
Oh shit, yeah, Rush.
Yeah, but I think it's a return to form, or am I just more secure in myself that it's a good instrument?
The bass.
Like, do the general public give a shit anymore?
I don't know. I just know that it's the most, like, it's frequently dismissed by every person. But no, it is always like it's a forgotten one.
Yeah,
it's
not the sexy
bassist.
one.
I mean, who's the bassist in Nirvana? Chris Novoselic. What's he doing now?
Exactly.
You know, Kurt Cobain's doing more now, quite frankly.
But I do get that in bands as well. I think there's the guitars when you're starting out are just so fucking loud. Like, so the bass gets eclipsed. Like I remember my amp, the first band I was in, there's just, I don't know, the treble of a guitar just seems to cut through everything. It just seems the bass is sort of airy, so it's just very hard to
kind of pin it down in a song.
Yeah, and I also find that a lot of people gravitate to guitar first, and it's so loud. You know, and there's generalizations for guitar players. They don't listen.
Yeah.
And they can't play in time or anything. So I think on their side they're so loud and so it's so much more, more melodic or whatever, that they kind of don't pay attention to the bass because they think their instrument's better. So maybe in a band there's not enough respect for it, so it's lower in the mix, and the guy that plays the bass isn't dominant, so they dominate him. There's those kind of cliches that I guess they don't help it.
It's gotta be hard to be a guy like Nate Mendel.
Oh god. Well, he's the epitome of why it's lame to play bass.
Because he's just sitting there and taking this
taking it right up the
mountain of. He's taking the guitars right up the ass.
Yeah, 3 guitars in the ass.
Like, I mean, he's buried under a mountain of fucking guitars.
And there's the keyboard probably taking all the mids.
He's
and
taking and a pesky drummer.
And he just seems like a very boring, unimaginative player.
Yeah.
That's what I get from it. Like, just...
Speaking of concert movies, I guess, if we're going to seek into creative...
if we're going to talk about anything in context.
We should... No, but Foo Fighters Back and Forth. Not a movie I'd ever revisit. I just... They don't have the kind of...
Yeah, it's sort of just a history.
Yeah, like, I could picture, like, a narrative there that went into... You know, they talk a bit about Grohl, like... going with Street Queens of the Stone Age, they have the famous thing of Taylor Hawkins yawning, when he talks about it. But, like, I mean, just not enough conflict, too much of a puff piece. I really think Some Kind of Monster is what a band movie should be, because it's it was warts and all. Also, I watched, like, I love the Stooges. I watched Gimme Danger recently.
Oh yeah, I never got. That's the Jim Jarmusch.
Yeah, and like great director, great band, but it's just no revelation. I'm not looking for like gossip or anything. But there's no conflict. There's nothing really kind of. It's just a very straightforward, pleasant kind of.
I'm so pleased you liked the Metallica one this much.
Yeah, I loved it.
But it is a good film. Like, a good film's a good film.
Legitimately good movie. This is what I was saying. Like, I liked Metallica more for having watched it because it's just about creativity, really.
Yeah, and like, I found people give shit about Lars Ulrich's drumming and all that stuff, but I just found him really inspiring in that movie. Just kind of no nonsense and just.
No,
I don't know. People always seem to perceive him as dick, but I just understood what he meant every time he said something. I don't know.
He had a way of being kind of blunt, and did Hetfield like lose his shit with him and like kind of debase him a bit in that movie? I think so. Was there a shouting match or something? And
there's a time when Lars goes up to him and goes, "Fuck."
Oh, that bit, yeah.
That was weird though, because like. To me, it looked really tense to the point where you'd punch someone, but like Hetfield doesn't even move.
Yeah, it's like they've been through it before.
Yeah.
No, it's just funny seeing them up close. Like, I mean, they're just not their stage presences. Yeah. No, they were. It was a great movie though.
Great movie.
I highly recommend that. So, if you want to watch, not necessarily a gig, it has many clips of gigs in it.
That is true.
Want to watch that in your home? Maybe that. Do you want to pick a next one?
Yes, I do. I saw Hired Gun.
Oh, I don't know this.
It's pretty new to Netflix, but it's basically about session musicians.
Oh, cool.
And their contribution to records and how they survive. Yeah, it's very interesting. A lot of it talks about... I guess there's like a vulnerability in being a session musician, because, say if you're playing for Elton John, the brand is Elton John.
Yeah.
And then if you're with him, you're in the Elton John band. But if he drops you, you're nobody, because like it's his name. So you're living his lifestyle in a certain way. But if if you stop working for him, you're just an average Joe again.
It's fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
it reminds me of that famous story about Ziggy Stardust and how that ended.
No.
On stage, David Bowie came out as Ziggy Stardust, and he said to everybody, "This will be our last concert."
Oh shit!
He didn't tell the musicians.
Oh, so I guess that band. Yeah, he's always
fired
changed.
them on stage essentially.
Yeah,
and like they were all like, we knew nothing about this. Like they thought this was their. I feel like saying meal ticket suggests that they're like opportunistic or like greedy. No, they're like hardworking musicians. They just lost their meal. I guess not a ticket, just a meal.
Yeah, I suppose Bowie then went on to. Kind of more the funk style and the Nile Rodgers and stuff, so it wasn't really English.
Yeah, that would have been. I don't know. Probably
maybe there's a bit of a transition.
When Hunky Dory happened, was that pre or post? That was post Iggy, wasn't it?
Was it? I'm like terrible with the Bowie stuff.
I think. But anyway, he did move anyway.
Yeah, but that's scary. Being that vulnerable.
Yeah, totally. I think Ronnie Wood feels to this day.
Oh Jesus, yeah.
Oh, he's not like a session music. He's just like a not. Is he like technically?
He is a member now, but it took 20 years of
being
on the payroll.
Craft.
I mean, he was probably getting more than like 60,000 a year, but like
yeah.
He still wasn't like. I don't think he would be in photo ops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe. Yeah, I think Bon Jovi are the same. They have or Green Day. They have a other guitar player for live stuff.
Yeah.
But like he doesn't feature in the image of the band. So they're still a trio in press releases and stuff.
And then on videos and
probably
albums as well.
I'd say it's a good gig if you don't want the press stuff.
Totally, yeah. Inside Llewyn Davis is a good movie about session musicians.
Oh yeah.
You've seen it, right?
Yeah, when he it's horrible when he signs away any royalties.
Yeah, that's just takes the easy way out.
Oh god. But it was the same with the Metallica. There's like the humanity in it. It taught me a lot about personal responsibility, because a lot of band artists can have a sob story where like, oh, I was in this popular artist band and then he fired me, boo boo hoo hoo.
Yeah.
But then there was this drummer, Kenny Aronoff. You might maybe recognize him. He's kind of he's always the drummer for a lot of people.
Cool.
He's this like bald guy with kind of like sunglasses.
Oh, okay. You're proud of his face, are they?
Well, he hardly ever takes them off.
Okay.
But he was John Mellencamp's drummer, and in the studio he was getting fired because he didn't have any studio experience.
Yeah.
And then he was like going to John Mellencamp, no, I'm not leaving, I'm staying, because I'm your drummer, am I? And he's like, yes. He's like, well, okay, so if I stay and watch these studio drummers, then I'm going to learn and I'm going to get better for you, because I'm your drummer. And I'll stay for free, so then it was fine.
Oh, nice, okay.
But his determination was interesting. Like, he wouldn't just get fired. He's like, no, I'm your drummer. And like, he had this hustling attitude. Then he became the drummer, and he was with him for years, and he drums with everyone.
It's worth sticking in.
Yeah, but he's one of those seven steps to be successful guys. Yeah. But he's a winner. Like, there's some musicians are just sitting on their couch and they get lucky and then they get kicked out of the band and they're like, oh, it's my sad life. But he's like, just no nonsense, just keeps pushing forward. And it's like, yeah, you can win at being a session musician if you have the brains to win.
But do you feel like this the lack of security is always hovering over them? Like, is there a point when you get to be a session musician that like still makes bank every year?
Yeah.
Like, set for life session musician? Is he set for life set?
I don't know how.
Where are his finances?
No, he looks well. Like, he looks. Good. I'd say he does pretty well, with tours and stuff. But yeah, I don't know if there's like a. Yeah, like if you're a successful singer songwriter, you'll get royalties. I do think you can get performance royalties on a song.
Oh, that's cool.
But I don't know. Sometimes, that brought me to. It's basically like they just like a Billy Joel. What's that word when you're just kind of trying to throw someone in the dirt? Smear. Yeah, it was almost a Billy Joel smear piece. Because then they were talking about Billy Joel's drummer Lib DeVito, and he was with Billy for like 30 years. Well, originally when Billy got big, there was Billy's band. But when he hit like 87, he got rid of two of the guys.
Yeah. And
he kept the drummer. And they were all like friends for years. But the drummer was like, they were keeping him. He was being kept on. The other side, you should quit out of loyalty. But he's like, I have like children. I'm not a millionaire. I need to keep doing this. So he stayed with Billy.
Yeah.
And then eventually he got dropped like in 06. I think they got so like he was with him for years later.
Yeah, so he got.
But then he had to build his life again, and I don't think he didn't seem as secure as the Kenny Aronoff thing. But yeah, that stuff's scary.
That would be like, imagine playing many gigs in front of thousands of people and still not being comfortable in life.
Yeah.
I mean, you are comfortable for the time, but
that's what I was wondering though, because like. Surely he was getting more than like 40,000 a year to play with Billy Joel. Like, he's bringing in a lot.
Unless he was like living the rock and roll excess lifestyle. But Billy Joel, was he ever that kind of guy? I don't.
I think he was into stuff.
He was into stuff.
Yeah, I think he apparently he like tried to he overdosed when he was like younger.
Jesus, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's had substance stuff, but I don't know how dramatic, but
yeah, he had like a wee phase.
Yeah, but then there's a terrible part in it where, wait, are these all spoilers? I don't really know.
maybe because we're encouraging people to watch them. I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in it anyway, there's the other members that got fired. Like things go really bad for them. So like, yeah, it can be tough for people to adjust to normal life again.
Yeah, new people as well coming into their band as well. You know.
But yeah, I do think a lot of people do seek a band because, you know, I started the drum lessons and I was watching Dream Theater had drumming auditions when their drummer left, Mike Portnoy. But a lot of the drummers were renowned session musicians, and they played, you know, for other artists, but they'd never been in a band. And a lot of them would say like they'd like to be a part of a band.
Yeah.
So you're a partner, and like,
yeah,
it's regular. It's not just like, oh, do you want to do a tour this for 6 weeks thing. It's like, no, you're actually in the band for years, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they seem to all.
It'd be horrible if one of us had this podcast and we brought in the other one on it. It wasn't like, that would be freaky. Like the lack of security.
I know. Yeah. Jesus.
Thank God we're both comfortable.
Yeah. Touch wood.
Living comfortable.
Comfortable living.
Off the back of this, our one job. What about like actual concert movies, like concerts?
Oh,
gigs, if you will.
Well, the one with those guys, the Talking Heads, is very.
Oh
good.
Yeah, Stop Making Sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's good.
You know what I love about this movie? Stop Making Sense, directed by Jonathan Demme. Okay. And that's not what I love about it. You know what I love? No, I love that there's no audience shots. Zero.
Oh right, okay.
Which is really cool because it feel, you know, I always felt like in any kind of filmed performance when they show the audience, it's like try to disguise an edit. It just seems inconsequential. Like it seems like, look, these people are approving of it. You know, so it stands on its own. It's their concert. You know, and I think it's probably the best way to watch their concert. They made a movie that's actually better than a concert.
Yeah.
Like you're on stage with them, the camera's on stage with them, you know, you follow them out, you know, it's really cool.
Yeah, I get you, yeah.
It's like you're there with them. It's more immersive, I think, almost.
Very cool.
Yeah, and also just the structure of it is cool. Like it opens up with just David Byrne coming out. He's saying the song. Yeah. Psycho Killer, and he's like, I got a tape. I'm gonna play a tape, and he plays the tape box thing for the clicky thing. I don't know what it's called.
And then they come out one by one.
I don't think it's one by one. I don't know. I don't remember the exact order.
I don't remember the movie at all.
I don't remember anything that we're talking about. But yeah, no, the stage gradually gets bigger, and the suit in the performance.
Oh
gets bigger
I remember that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, I mean, no, that's like probably the best concert movie I've seen
of all time.
I can't make an argument against it.
Wouldn't go wrong.
Yeah, like again, I really just hate audience shots.
Yeah.
Do you like? How do you feel about them?
I don't really notice them, but maybe
I just think they're like so inconsequential. It's like, because if you actually look at the point when they frequently cut to audiences, it usually like could easily not have been done. So it just makes you think that it's trying to disguise just a shitty edit or something. Yeah. I don't know. Like, there's no need. I don't want to see the fucking audience. I want to see the band.
You don't look at the audience when you're in the audience.
Yeah, we don't, like, the band. Well, yeah, I was going to say the band don't look at the audience, but they do. But yeah, like, I mean, we don't like go to the front of a thing and turn backwards. No. You know, so yeah. What concert movies?
Well, like I don't want to say it on air, but I haven't seen The Last Waltz.
Neither have I.
So I don't know if that has a reference point.
Yeah, that's.
What else is a concert movie that's like? Oh, I do like Nirvana live at Paramount Theatre.
Oh, I don't know this.
That's like a Halloween show.
Cool.
Around 90. I assume Nevermind was out. Yeah, probably was. But yeah, that's a really good one.
Nice.
It's more of a club setting, like probably.
Really?
1,000 people.
Stricken Nevermind. This is big.
It was. Yeah, it was cool. It was really good. I have it on Blu-ray actually. Yeah.
Cool. Jeez.
I get maybe their peak, like the three of them.
Yeah.
He hadn't gone kind of crazy, and probably hadn't met Courtney Love either.
Yeah, probably wasn't.
So yeah, I think it was like more together.
No, that's cool. No, that I'd love to see them in an intimate setting.
Yeah, and a trio as well.
Yeah, just raw music.
No, that was fucking great.
What about what other concert movies were? We seem a little bit tired this week. It's because we're tired.
Yeah, because I was listening to a podcast about eating properly, and there's all that stuff about you crash at 2 p.m.
Yeah.
So now I feel really tired from just listening to it.
You're having to What time? 8 p.m. crash. I don't know.
Well, I think it's because we're being boxed off to concert movies. I can only remember the Stand Up for Drummers. That's another thing.
Oh, talk about that a little bit. So, Stand Up for Drummers, Fred Armisen of Portlandia fame.
The page just has a stand-up set for drummers.
Just drummers in the crowd. This sounds hilarious. I only watched a bit. I fell asleep because I'm always tired.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, he just talks about drumming, and did you ever get as a drummer? You'd have to watch Fred Armisen and Portlandia just get the way he talks about
stuff. Kind of goes on, yeah. He's kind of Bill Hader does a fun impression of Fred Armisen.
Yeah,
like going through records and stuff. Like he's a kind of quintessential hipster,
Yeah.
Drumming would not have been what I would have expected.
Yeah, does he record?
I don't know, because Carrie Brownstein,
she really pushes that. Like
she's awesome.
A lot of her art. Like I think I've actually anytime I've seen anything with her. It's been on Pitchfork.
Sleater Kinney.
Yeah, but the band I've never seen really.
They're cool.
A
I like
interview. Yeah, I'd have to check them out. Good. They I'd say they could do an Irish tour where you could see them easily.
Oh yeah, I think they played Vicar Street.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it was the Olympia. I think it was Vicar Street though. I think they played Vicar Street like maybe October.
Oh okay.
Yeah, so they were in here.
But I guess she wouldn't really reference Portlandia in it, so.
Yeah, no. Like also, I don't think she's a vocalist. I think she's just a bassist. So she probably never gets near that mic.
No.
Slap that mic out of her hand.
But yeah, like I was watching it in the middle of the night, just randomly, and I was like, "Is this actually a real show? Like, am I actually watching drumming stand up?" But it's cool. There is one very cool bit where.
Did they clap with their snares? That would be cool.
Oh no.
That would be badass.
Well, there is one part where he goes through all the kits.
Yeah. From
like the 1920s to now.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Kind of like a history lesson. He kind of just jokes around, and cool. I don't know. I just found it really, really cool.
Is it funny? Haha.
Yeah, I thought something it's hilarious. Like he do just like when you're in a band, and like most of the time you don't rehearse.
Yeah.
You just talk about other bands being terrible.
Yeah.
But how they're really nice. It's like, did you see Stinky Socks last night? God, he's like, oh, I know, dude. Like, God. See how high the drummer cymbals were? He's like, oh, I can't reach. And then but they're really nice guys. Oh yeah, super nice guys.
Yeah.
But it's just all those things you just get in a band. It's really cool. He had 3 drummers come out as well.
Yeah.
He had Trey Cool.
Don't know.
Oh, you do from Green Day.
Oh, okay.
I actually really got into Green Day after that.
Really?
Yeah, I used to not. Huh. Well, back in 2004 when.
American Idiot
came out.
Big.
I was so resistant. Yeah. I just was this malcontent because the other kids liked it.
But I only found out after that they've been going since the early 90s.
And Dookie's great.
I don't know
Dookie is the album. Dookie is the Do You Have the Time?
Oh, I like that song.
Yeah.
It's a cute
and then
song.
there's one Longview as well about masturbation.
Nice.
Yeah.
Jesus. Wow. I didn't know they went that deep.
Yeah, no. So yeah, I've been enjoying that a lot. And then they had this drummer. What was her name? But she's in this band Warpaint.
Oh, I know Warpaint. Yeah.
So I checked them out. And I like them.
Warpaint are cool. Yeah, I like them.
And they'd be on that level where they'd probably be on the billing of some festival.
Yeah, there's a cool. Do you ever watch NPR Tiny Desk?
No.
Tiny Desk sessions, and it's like in a little room, and like bands just play.
Oh,
it's very intimate, super intimate.
Oh, is it like in the basement?
Kind of, a bit like that kind of concept.
Yeah.
And Warpaint have a good one.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so I need to listen to more actually. And then they had this drummer, Thomas Lang. I don't really know what famous artist he's been with, but he's very high in the drummer credentials. Drummers respect him, great technique. But so they all do kind of jokes with each other. Like he brings one out at a time, and they kind of riff off each other. But at the end, they're all playing just the normal beat together, and I did find it interesting. Like they're all playing the exact same beat in time, but they all just have a little touch of just the way they hit the drums.
They have their own flair.
Yeah, I really just find it fascinating. Just kind of listening and oh yeah, this. You
can kind of notice. Yeah, it's interesting, I guess, to watch great drummers play uniformly.
Yeah,
and, that way you can actually break down what they do.
It's a great stand up, and it was nice to. Not know it was in the pipeline for months and had really high expectations.
Just have it dropped on you. That's the best kind of Netflix release.
Oh, definitely. Because their other releases like Bright.
Yeah.
Oh, shite.
Yeah, dog shite. Wish it was dark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bright. What about The Irishman? You know, Scorsese's thing. Right?
Oh yeah.
That's been in the mix for so long. Okay, like I've heard about it for ages. I saw the poster of it and I was like, Jesus, is this out? Yeah. And it's like fucking January or not January, just 2019. Broadly speaking, I don't know. Like I'm aware the budget's gone. Do you ever heard about this?
You were saying 140
million because of de-aging effects.
But like, they're all old.
I know, but de-aging to make them younger.
Oh, de-aging.
Yeah, so like you're gonna get to see De Niro as old De Niro as young De Niro.
What's young 50 or?
Yeah, maybe. Like there's only so much de-aging they can do. Like we're not gonna see baby De Niro.
Yeah, I don't know. They've really
baby Pesci.
Like I flew the Pacino De Niro flag for years.
Yeah.
They've really, even I've just given up. They've just eroded all my.
It's goodwill.
Yeah, like I was fighting. It's just too hard.
I still got a bunch of Scorsese goodwill though. So.
Oh well, he's always good, but you see, he uses other actors.
Yeah, that's true. That are not just Pacino and De Niro. In fact, almost never Pacino. Does he? I don't think
he's done a Pacino.
No, is this his first Pacino movie? That seems interesting.
Wow, Jesus.
Speaking of Scorsese, big fan of the Rolling Stones.
Yes.
Did you ever see Shine a Light?
Yes, I did.
I haven't seen it.
Concert
Thank God,
movie.
one of us have seen this.
Yeah, that's good. It's audience shots.
That's odd. Really? Well, I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's not like a fixed rule, but I just think that.
Well, from what I can remember, it's quite good. It's like there's kind of sweeping cameras.
Yeah.
So like it'll follow Keith Richards.
That's
coming out. Yeah, like it was good.
That's cool.
And yeah, it's good for the Stones to have something to that level.
Yeah.
But I thought that like I know why they're supposed to be the greatest rock and roll band and all that stuff. But like they have a lot of help. Like they have backing singers.
Yeah.
They fucking like keyboard players. Like.
Did you ever hear the story of the Gimme Shelter recording session? Speaking of session musicians.
Oh, is that from that movie about backing singers?
It might have been in that. I don't know where I heard it, but it might have been said in that.
Okay.
So the lady who was singing, the rape murder bit, that bit, she suffered a miscarriage.
Oh, I did not.
Singing that bit. And
really?
I'm like, Jesus Christ! It adds a whole fucking greater intensity to that song.
Jesus.
A sad intensity, like not good, but yeah, it's pretty.
God, that backing singer movie is kind of the same as Hired Gun. It's a lot about like contributing to a really popular art, but then still being a loser.
Like a footnote. But like if you listen to like the backing vocals are like it's a great perfect song, but like that's one of the most intense moving bits of it. It gives you chills when you hear that bit.
I didn't even know that she was saying that until I watched that documentary.
Really?
I just didn't really hear anything.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even hear murder. It's like I don't know why. I just couldn't really think of any words.
Yeah. It's kind of. But yeah, no, I love that bit. Gives you chills every time I hear it. But terribly sad, I guess, that it resulted in such a
really
loss. Yeah. But what else we got? I feel like we just jumped back into session musician talk.
Just when I get out, they pulled me back in.
What do we got? Good typing. We got a gig this week. What do we got?
Oh wow, we're up at 40 minutes almost. We have not.
How many people do you think have made it this far in this particular episode?
Yeah, there's anyone listening to it this far.
Yeah, but I mean, just this. I feel like this particular episode is quite meandering. It's quite.
Dude, I think there's a lot of content.
No, yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, like,
I've never felt more knowledgeable, but
true,
I don't know if anyone wants to follow the knowledge.
Oh, let's do a quick talk about while we're on the Stones. Gimme Shelter, the actual movie directed by the Maisel brothers, 1969.
Oh, yeah, I never watched it.
It's interesting.
Is
like
that the
Altamont?
Yeah, Altamont.
So they got the Hells Angels to do security for it, which was because a free concert. Which it was always going to be just stupid fucking idea. Like I mean, that's just insane. And I don't know. Like it's a great film. It's intense. They have. The guy gets stabbed on camera, which is always, going to add some sad power to a movie. Yeah. But, it's cool. It's a good movie. I don't know. I didn't love it as much as a lot of people did. They call it the greatest concert movie of all time, which we should probably,
I just thought, I couldn't watch it.
Mention it. It's just pretty bleak and exploitative, I guess, in a sense, but it's very good. It's good. Don't wanna... What we got here?
I don't know.
Who's on?
Oh, I can't go. I'll be
in Amsterdam. Amsterdam.
I need to listen to that song actually.
Yeah.
Should I pause? I don't know if we're looking for the.
Yeah, maybe our rambling is kind of. I don't know. Fuck it. Like, I mean, if they listen this far, they're gonna listen to our rambling.
I honestly have no idea what gig is on. Do we need to say one?
On Wednesday night, actually, I might go to like a jazz thing or something.
Oh yeah,
so that could be something.
That's good, yeah, because I cheated on you last week.
Yeah, I'll cheat on you this week. So that's the secret to a healthy relationship. Lots of affairs.
That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, which reminds me of I would just could talk a little bit about the gig I went to.
Yes, totally. Do it.
I need to find what it was again. It was. Oh god, sorry folks.
We're talking saying sorry to nobody.
Yeah.
Funk at the Button Factory. Something like that.
Something like that. Oh, I know where it is. I can check the group chat.
Speaking of funk, would you call like I said before we went on the air, I've been listening to Redbone a lot recently, Come and Get Your Love. And then I've just listened to like a playlist on Spotify. And the second song, it's different, but sounds exactly the same.
Oh.
But like I was really into it. I got into it. Is that like funk? Is that soul? What is that?
Yeah. Sounds funky.
Funky? Yeah, funk.
Yeah,
Funkadelic are cool as well. Funkadelic, Parliament Funkadelic?
Yeah,
they're neat. I like them.
Yeah, it was Ralph Roll and the Funk Patrol.
Nice.
And yeah, it was good. It was very
original material.
He was playing Chic.
Oh,
so it was kind of like a greatest hits thing. Yeah. But it was good. Yeah. Oh god. So tired, but it's so many things. Like he was drumming, and he had singers and everything. He wasn't the singer, but he was like the MC almost.
Yeah.
So it was kind of going with the drummer being the boss.
Okay, yeah.
You get like with Phil Collins and all that. But he was playing funk. And it was good. Like it was nice and danceable. And I do find when I listen to rock music too much, it kind of gets a bit tired. And then if I listen to jazz or funk, it kind of just wakens my refreshes the ears.
Yeah.
And I definitely feel like if a band, maybe it comes into that thing of being impatient with bands when I see them live after 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe if they incorporated more different feels, it would be a bit more interesting.
There's nothing that can surprise you.
Yeah, but it's kind of just a 4/4 in time. Not really. Yeah, kind of a funky. Without other elements, kind of grate on me a bit.
Yeah, no, I get that too. Remember I was saying like in like say. What I'd choose to listen to would be guitar heavy maybe. But like at live gigs, I'd respond much better to something different, I think.
Yeah, a bit of this, bit of that, like.
Because it's like, it does get kind of, derivative and stuff. And maybe it's just speaking to my lack of funk knowledge and lack of jazz knowledge that, I'm like, I hear a song, I'm like, oh my god, what is this?
Yeah.
But right now, that's kind of what I'm gravitating towards as well, so it's good that way, but... Well, support jazz.
Exactly, and funk.
And funk. Not rock, though.
We're at like the 1100 seconds mark, whatever that means.
Yeah, that's, this is, PreSonus for you. You get what you paid for, everybody. And you paid us nothing, so...
Absolutely.
Speaking of gigs, actually, just one last thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're just a little word about the Chris Rock special. I guess if we're talking about gigs, if stand up for drummers is a thing,
where's the line?
Yeah, where's the line go? We want to cover comedy. Did you watch it?
No, is it the tour he did, or is it a new thing? When he was here in September,
yeah, I think it's a Blackout tour, but
it's not called
it's called Tambourine. It's called.
That's not Blackout.
He has a funny joke though in it. One joke that made me like laugh my ass off. And I won't tell it here, but it's about gun control and stabbing, and it's quite apt. All right. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I probably will watch. Like it. Chris Rock's like one of those staples where it's like it's worth sitting down to watch.
Totally.
What he does.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
Oh, I just realized I can tell the time by instead of using bars, go to seconds.
Jesus.
39 minutes.
30? Really?
Yeah.
I thought we were at like 40 minutes, like 10 minutes
ago.
I
know, but like thousands of hours.
This is like the smallest podcast we've... Did we put out like one 30-minute episode before, I think?
Yeah. Did that get more hits or less?
Do people like the smaller... Maybe we should release this one in chunks. Like the Deadly Hollows Part 1 and Part 2.
For a month or something.
Yeah.
Or do those YouTube videos where like it's the 5-minute
little
soundbite with the thumbnail of like Bill
At the
Burr.
gigs destroys. At the gigs
Posted
destroys
by
Bill Burr.
The conscientious conservative versus the Liberty Hound or the. Oh, God. Well, I guess that's all from me.
And that's all
Mom.
from me. We'll see you next
Sorry, that's
week.
very abrupt.
With,
Yeah, so you think we're kind of hit all the
I think we
topics
hit.
we-
I think we hit like every topic we could hit.
ever known to man.
Like I literally just said the name Chris Rock, and we essentially just zipped by. So we've hit every topic. We've pretty comprehensive podcast. This was our funnest one yet.
Yeah.
It may not be the funnest to listen to, but I had fun being tired and podcasting. So yeah, I've been Kieran.
I've been tired.
We've both been tired. Good Pixie song, by the way. Everybody, your homework for this week, listen to I've Been Tired.
Our 6 students.
Yeah.
Okay.